welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, my name is Lucy Brown. Welcome. Before we get into the video, please make sure that you like the video. Before we continue, please also make sure that if you have not subscribed at this point, please make sure that you subscribe by clicking the subscribe wording below. Please also make sure if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a video, please make sure that you click the notification bell down below. As you've seen from the title of the video, today we are discussing 5 red flags in friendships. We talk so much about red flags in romantic relationships and toxic traits that we should look out for in a romantic relationship. The same thing can be said about friendships. What are the things that you desire out of a friendship? What are the things or the traits or characteristics that you desire a friendship to bring out of you? And you know, it's at times like it can get like so messy and so complicated, because at times you are committed to someone. I mean, perhaps you grew up with them as a childhood friend. Perhaps this person has been your ride or die like for the longest of times. You guys have went through the most toughest of situations, but where you are at right now, you just aren't enjoying the relationship, and it's just not bringing the best out of the both of you like it used to. But because there's so much experience that comes with the relationship, it's really not that easy to just let go of it. According to me personally, to a certain extent, I just feel like friendship breakups are much more harder than romantic relationships. But at times it's important for us to be honest and truthful with ourselves rather, and do some self-introspection. At times it happens that people have outgrown one another due to experiences, life in general, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we ourselves are the ones that have changed towards our friends, and experiences and life has brought out characteristics and traits in us that other people do not specifically appreciate. So today we are talking 5 red flags in friendships. Just like romantic relationships, right? When something's not going right in your relationship with your partner, with your boo, you sit down with the person and you tell them, these are the things that I appreciate, these are the things that I do not appreciate. At a certain point in time, you need to be able to differentiate a person that is not perfect but they are good people, or a person who's just downright like disrespectful towards you and they aren't for you. And in friendships as well, it's important for us to be able to make the distinction. Sometimes it's that people just aren't perfect, just the way we aren't perfect, but they are genuinely good people and they love you and they're for you. And sometimes a person is just no longer for you and it's time to, you know, move on from that relationship. So before calling the relationship quits, and before you say that the relationship is just not working and this person's not for me, it's always good to sit down with the person and tell them that, you know what, I feel like our relationship has hit rock bottom, or I feel like these are the things that I do not appreciate in a relationship, or I feel like this relationship brings more bad out of me than good, and try and talk things out. If you've tried to speak things over and tried to speak things out and it still hasn't worked, then I think there would be time to call the relationship quits. I just don't think it's a wise thing for you to walk away from relationships, to walk away from friendships specifically, whereas you did not give it your best shot. At the end, you should be able to say to yourself, you know what, I gave it my best shot, I gave it my everything and it still did not work. You don't want to be sitting with a whole lot of baggage in your heart and a lot of regrets to think that what if, like, I just called this person and tried to speak to them, maybe things would have been better. Maybe this person also has an issue with the way you've changed, or maybe you might be the issue and you just don't recognize it. So hence why conversations are very important. Well, let's get into this video of 5 red flags in friendships that you should look out for. Red flag number 1: this person downplays or belittles your achievements. Like nothing you ever do in this person's eyes is good enough. They'll downplay your achievements, or they'll either make your achievements seem like it's not that much of a big deal, or they aren't excited about the news or the achievement that you're sharing with them, they aren't as excited as they usually would be, or as you expected them to be, or either they'll just change the conversation and you can see by their facial expression that they're just not interested in what you're talking about. A person that downplays your achievements and a person who belittles your achievements, no matter how small they are, is not a good friend, according to me. To a certain extent, it does speak of that the person does not wish good things for you, that they actually think that you are underneath them or under them, and that perhaps they just don't think that you are worthy of good things. And that's not a person that you want to be around. You want to be around a person who encourages you, even if you ran for 10 minutes this morning and you could not run, or you've been struggling with running for the longest time. The person should not be like, but I ran for 30 minutes every morning. The person should encourage you and say, you know what, well done, friend, I know you can do better, and basically bring out the best out of you. Red flag number 2, this person is overly jealous about or of other friendships that you have with other people. They want them to be your only friends. Like the moment you pursue your other friendships, or the moment you start to water your other friendships outside of them, they bring it off as if you are betraying them. They basically just want them to be your only friends. According to me, that is not a good friend. I don't care who says what. We cannot get 100% from no one. The only 100% that we can get out of someone, if I can put it in that way, is God. Our spouses cannot give us 100%. Our friends cannot give us 100%. Our parents cannot give us 100% of themselves. We can't even give our own selves 100% of ourselves. So sometimes you might be friends with a particular person because for faith matters, for instance, that you guys can engage in terms of spiritual matters, and you guys really are there for one another. And then you are friends with another person because perhaps they are career driven, that they drive you and that they motivate you to just want more out of life. You are getting, or you are benefiting different things from those people. So I don't see how one person is going to be able to fulfill all of the pillars that you need from friendships, because it's too much to ask of a person. So a friend who's basically overly jealous and just wants you to be their only friend is a red flag. They should be mature enough to know that and to know their position in your life. Again, that might be also an opportunity to have a conversation with that person, to tell them or to reassure them of their position in your life. But besides that, if the person's not taking it and they keep being persistent with that type of behavior, like it's a red flag. Like we've grown for those type of things now. Red flag number 3, this person really apologizes. They are never wrong, and they don't ever want to apologize. At times, you might not understand where a person is coming from. For instance, if I tell you that what you actually did or what you actually said actually hurt me, and you might not even understand, like you might deem it as in like it's really not that deep. But for the fact that I'm telling you that it hurt me, is good enough reason to say, you know what, I might not understand why it hurt you, but for the fact that it hurt you, I'm sorry, period. At times, it's not for us to understand why the person is necessarily feeling in that way or what triggered that. At times, it takes time, it takes experience for us to understand certain things. But because you love that person, for the fact that they felt in that way, you apologize for that. So a person who never ever apologizes for anything is a red flag, because that just speaks to the fact that they don't consider your feelings. Regardless of whether they understand it or not, a friend must be able to respect your feelings and respect how you feel. So a person who does not acknowledge when they're wrong, does not want to apologize, just speaks to a person that does not care about your feelings. But also, as well, as I mentioned, self-introspection. Do you apologize when your friends come and tell you that we don't like what you did and all of that? Do you try and argue yourself out of it? You know, some of us are good at arguing, or good at talking, or good at conversating, and we know how to get ourselves out of stuff? Do you try and get yourself out of it, or do you apologize and sit down and introspect and say, you know what, I hear what you guys are saying. I am not at the point where I see what I did was wrong, but I apologize for the way it came through, and I just want to take time to actually just self-introspect about what you guys are saying. So it's important as well for us to do some self-introspection, to question ourselves whether we are the red flags in relationships. If you're still watching the video at this point, please make sure that you like. Please make sure you also comment down below. Remember, commenting down below basically helps with the engagement and helps YouTube to also recommend the video to other people. If you have not subscribed by now, I'm literally just going to give you a minute. Yes, please do the right thing. Please make sure that you subscribe. Down below, if you enjoy this content, please also make sure that you click the bell down below if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload new videos. Red flag number 4, this person shares your private business in public spaces and makes it seem as if it's a joke. You know those type of people that know very well that you are uncomfortable with certain things, and they'll still go and say it in public and then be like, it's a joke. Like, a friend does not do that. For instance, if I have a problem with, let's just say, snoring, I don't have a problem with snoring, but let's say I have a problem with snoring and it's embarrassing for me. I don't want people to know about it, and yeah. And then this one day my friend comes and visits, and you know, I fall asleep before her and I snore as per normal. And then she decides to share that we're in a public setting, and she's like, remember Lucy, that time when you fell asleep before me and you were snoring so bad? And everyone's like laughing at it, and she's making it, he or she is making it seem as if it's a joke, but they know very well that I'm uncomfortable with sharing stuff, or I'm uncomfortable with even sharing it with other people. So a friend that truly loves you and cares for you will not hang your laundry out in the open for everyone to come and see. A friend that genuinely loves you will try and protect you by all means. They will not try and embarrass you in front of people to gain points, or to try and put you down in front of people, or so that people view you in a different way or perceive you in ways that you are not comfortable with people knowing about you. That's just downright, nasty. Like, a person who just does that is just down, like, it's just below the belt. Like, people who embarrass you in front of other people with stuff that you share privately, or with information that they only know due to privilege of relationship with you, it's just, it's below the belt. So a friend who basically makes a joke out of your private business, or out of things that you are not comfortable with sharing in public, that's a red flag. And down to red flag number 5. You have to constantly walk on eggshells around this person. This is so much of a red flag, and I don't think people really realize it. You don't want to be around a person that you need to be cautious of the way you talk. You need to be cautious of the way you do certain things, or the way you carry yourself, because you are basically afraid of the response that you're going to get from them. Or if you know this person very well snaps, so you make sure you're not going to say this, that's going to make them snap, or you're not going to do this, that's going to give them, that's basically going to make them respond in ways that are not going to be comfortable with you, or that's going to make them respond in ways that are going to be disrespectful towards you. There's just some people where they're like, don't say this, don't do this in front of me, because when I get ticked and when I get irritated, or when I get angry, like, they have no boundaries. When they're angry, they throw glasses in front, like, on people's faces. When they're angry, they get violent. Like, when they are angry, like, no one can get through to them. Like, you don't want to be around a friend who you have to constantly walk on eggshells around. You want to be around a person that you can be yourself, right? A person where you can make a joke out of something, for instance, where you guys get one another on that level, where you guys can make a joke and they basically can take it well because they know your heart and they know that you don't mean harm. Or you can correct them on something and they receive it well because they know that it's not coming from a bad place and they know that you mean well. They know your heart basically. But a person who does not know your heart, any small thing that you correct them with, or anything that you tell them that this was not right, or I didn't like this, it comes off as if you attacking them and all of those things. Like already we go through so much as individuals. There is so much pressure coming from all directions of life. The last thing you want is a friend that you need to tiptoe around, or friend that you need to be cautious of the way you carry yourself. And that for me is a red flag. You want someone where you can be genuinely yourself, where you can be free around them and they can be free around you, without being afraid of their response, without being afraid of them being offended by the way you naturally carry yourself or the way you naturally speak and all of those things. Well, I'm gonna end it here. I hope these 5 points made sense. Leave a comment down below. What are additional red flags in friendships that you feel like you will not tolerate? Or maybe have you had a long friendship where you guys are no longer together and you just felt like, yeah, it's hard, but I just have to break it off because it is no longer healthy for me. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't at this point. Thank you so much for your time and see you on the next video.